fall is right around the corner. Don't you smell it? We've got a great recipe for you, and it's soup that you can have for the fall season as it approaches. Gets everybody kind of in the holiday spirit. Judy Allen from Tulsa People Magazine is here with the recipe, and it's farro soup.
Farro. Farro is an ancient grain. You might have heard it called spelt.
Yeah.
These ancient grains are kind of making a comeback now that everyone's eating healthier. And you can find them in most markets now. Most of the supermarkets have some quinoa, whole oats, and things like that. So.
Wow. And it looks like it's almost an oat, but not quite.
Almost. Yeah, it's kind of got the shape of an oat.
Yeah.
It's almost like a puffy rice.
A puffy rice. That's a good way of putting it.
And it's mainly called farro in Italy. So
okay.
This is sort of an Italian-inspired soup. We've got Italian sausage and mushrooms and escarole and things like that.
Yes. Well, take us away to Italy with the food. Yes. So what do we have here?
Well, I've started out with some a good dose of olive oil, garlic, celery, onion, and carrot.
Look at that. And it's very colorful, too.
It's a good base for just about any soup. And we're going to add, this is 2 links of Italian sausage that I've taken out of the casing and just sort of crumbled it up so you get sort of like mini meatballs when you add them in here.
Okay.
We're going to add that.
And how long should this cook for?
Well, it's all going to simmer for a while. So right now we're just kind of trying to brown things and get a little flavor developed in there before we add the stock.
Okay.
And then we're going to add mushrooms, and it looks like a lot, but they shrink down a lot. It's about 12 ounces.
Okay.
And I've used brown cremini mushrooms, shiitake, and these, which are hen of the woods, and they look kind of like a little chicken.
Okay, that's a very interesting looking mushroom. Wow.
You can find those at Whole Foods.
Okay, you can find those interesting mushrooms at Whole Foods.
And Reese's might even carry some fancy mushrooms like that now.
And give me the name of that mushroom again.
It's hen of the woods.
Hen of the woods. That's a cool mushroom.
So we're adding the mushrooms, and you want to cook that down a little bit.
And for how long?
Just so the mushrooms kind of soften and start releasing their liquid.
Okay.
Their juice.
Good deal.
And then we're going to add a cup of red wine.
Okay.
And that'll sort of simmer away. This is a can of diced tomatoes.
Okay.
And if you want to be a real Italian, use the good San Marzano tomatoes. And then we've got a cup of farro, which I've soaked overnight just because it helps it cook a little faster.
Good.
Because it can.
And we're calling it puffy rice.
Puffy rice.
So you add the puffy rice, the Italian rice.
And let those kind of meld together.
All of the ingredients that you need for a really good soup.
And it looks nice and hearty already. Then we're going to add, I have 3 cups of beef stock and 3 cups of mushroom broth.
Okay, so 6 cups altogether.
6 cups altogether.
Okay, so you need a really big pot for this.
And you can find mushroom broth in most supermarkets. It's where the chicken stock is sold. And if you can't, just soak dried mushrooms in a little hot water and strain it, and that will be just as nice.
And then you whip that around for a little bit more.
And we're going to bring that to a simmer. It's going to cook for about 45 minutes or so. And then I'm actually going to turn this off because it's bubbling pretty good over here.
Okay.
You can see that the farro's kind of puffed out a little bit more. It's all tender, and the mushrooms are tender. All the vegetables are good.
And it really does look like a soup.
Yes.
Yes, a soup.
Almost a stew soup.
Stew soup. There we go.
And then for a little green, we're going to add some escarole, which is sort of a bitterish lettuce.
And it looks like the regular tossed lettuce that you would find, but
it's kind of like a romaine shape, but it's got like crinkly leaves. It's very good and adds a lot of nice flavor. And you're just going to toss that in and wilt it a little bit.
And 2 more ingredients before we go.
We're going to add some Parmesan cheese.
Parmesan cheese.
Because everything's better with Parmesan.
Everything's better with Parmesan.
And some chopped thyme.
There we go.
Oh, and I actually forgot red pepper flakes.
Red pepper flakes.
Will go in at this point, but you can add them at the end if you like.
Wow, and there you have it. And we have a final product of the soup. Look at that. And it's very colorful, and we have our puffy rice. So there you have it. Very good, very good. Thank you for coming in. If you would like a copy of today's recipe, you can just send a self-addressed stamped envelope to the address on your screen. You can also visit our website, newson6.com, and look in the recipes section. And also be sure to check out this month's issue of Tulsa People Magazine.